Hello everybody, and after a 4-week break, we are back in the Superlights at what is cloudy at the moment, Spain, in Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. A lovely part of the world, Barcelona. You can go into Barcelona and see La Sagrada Familia has been being built for the last 150 years, I think, by Gaudi. But we are here today to watch a lot of people drive around a track that's been modified for this season. We no longer have the Mickey Mouse chicane in the final sector. Much like the real Formula One track, the modifications will make for a much faster entry onto the start-finish straight. I'm told it's not quite flat out, the last corner, so it should be an opportunity for everyone to show their skills at not keeping it on the track. Hopefully they will today, and we will have an exciting race on our hands. And qualifying is just about to begin. And if you guys have been keeping up with the championship so far, we have Owen McGorgy leading the championship by quite a margin from Sandeep Singh, his teammate in the Road to Formula car. 39 points is his lead, and he has been the pace setter all season. It's honestly roasting in my room today, and probably the only thing hotter than my room is Owen's run of form this season. He's had first, second, first, and DNF whilst leading due to a disconnect, and then a first place at Germany last time out. He's the man to beat. So we'll see how he gets on today amongst the other drivers. We're currently watching one of the TR Geeks cars. No, are we? Yes. I don't know which one. Can't quite. I think it's Platt, I think, judging by that beautiful helmet design. But yes, we are at the Spanish Grand Prix. We're almost at the halfway point in the season. And this should be an interesting race. If you guys want to keep up with how the cars are getting on development-wise, you can go to the GPVWC website, go to the Superlights tab in competitions, and click development. You can see who's doing what development-wise, and everyone seems to be continuing to upgrade their cars. Valley have the best car as of right now, so keep an eye out for those guys. Road to Formula have a very good, strong car, but it doesn't make too much difference in Superlights compared to the Super League, its bigger brother series. So Dylan starts his flying lap, and we will be able to run on board with the TR Geeks Energy driver as he goes through Sector 1 and crosses that sector point now. And a 23.1 is a decent opening sector. The fastest time we've seen in practice was a 23.0 for the first sector on a 1:14.4 by Owen Magorgi, and Platt is pretty much there or thereabouts through that first sector. He's managed to get a huge jump on the rest of the field, by the way, in terms of getting out the pit lane. So if you don't know, in qualifying in GPVWC, it's all run privately. Everyone has private qualifying. You don't see any other cars on track, although your laps are kind of simultaneously run. So it's kind of a bit of trickery of sim racing, I suppose, that they're still able to drive the same track simultaneously but not see anyone else and not be affected by those cars. But as a result, everyone should be able to leave the pit lane at the same time, but Platt seems to have got a bit of a jump on them somehow. So he's going to cross the line first, and he sets a 1:15.0, about 6 tenths off what has been possible. Here's Joseph Herlock coming through the final corner now. That much improved final sector, in my opinion. Does a 14.9, which is pretty competitive. There was only 5 drivers in the 14s in practice. Magorgi smashes them all with a 14.4. What a lap time that is. Sandeep Singh's a lot closer this time, though, compared to the other rounds this season, as Christian Francesconi crosses the line and sets a lap time good enough for P9, only fractions of a second behind Michael, his brother. Here's Mark Schluter coming through the final couple of corners now, and he crosses the start-finish line now, does a 14.8, so that's enough for P4. That's pretty decent. Here's Fabrizio Gobbi, his teammate in the Virtual Drivers by TX3 machine. He crosses the line, sets a 15.1. So everyone pretty much has set their first round of laps, and it's raining. Oh, this will spice things up. Okay, well, if it does continue to rain for the rest of qualifying, this is going to be quite a quiet session for you guys and me. I won't have much to say if no one else goes back out. And look how wet it is through the final corner. Big slide for Van der Voort. This will be a slow lap time somewhere in the 16s, I'd imagine. Yeah, 16 for him. That's not good, and the rain is not good for him either. So yeah, Dylan Platt unable to use that early pit lane exit to his advantage necessarily. He's down in P6. He's been right up there all season. Here's Kilian Goit through sector 2. Yeah, you can see he's 1.6 seconds off. Look how damp it's got very quickly. Yeah, this is going to take a while to dry up. If it stops raining now, it'll take a good few laps to dry up. So yes, this could be all she wrote for qualifying, guys. Goit coming through the final corner now. It looks very treacherous already. Across the line, 17.3. Yeah, see, 3 seconds off is a lot. That's a lot of time. Hopefully the track is as hot as my room is and is able to dry up the rain. But it does look like it might drizzle. Well, for a little bit. I don't actually have a weather forecast in front of me. I was told it was by Szymon, who's with me, by the way. Say hello to Szymon Frelik. That it may drizzle at some point, but it's happened in the first 5 minutes of qualifying. So Luke Mitchell here, who is standing in the Drag car, lovely Welsh name for dragon, by the way. He's the last person out on track, and therefore this potentially will be a little bit slower. Szymon's just sent me a weather forecast. It is gonna rain, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to rain for quite a long time in this race, actually. Fun times. I wish it was raining in my room. Mitchell coming through the last corner. If you hear me pause, it's because I'm drinking, by the way. It's so hot, I can't tell you what it is. Mitchell crosses the line. He's almost 3 seconds off, so confirming that the weather has played a part in this lap time. And it's only Horsevin left to set a lap time. Very fun. Look at the rain coming down. It's actually looking a little bit wet on track as well. So yeah, this is going to be a completely different race then. If everyone's done, if no one's done wet lap practice, if everyone's done dry practice, they are going to struggle. So very interesting. Everyone is actually back out on track again, but if you look at McGorgy's opening sector there, 5 tenths off. That's a whole heap. I mean, look how much he's struggling under traction. Look how wet the car is. He goes through. Yeah, you see, it's not turning. There's no traction. Into here, he'll be a big old lift on the throttle. Comes through the exit, nice and wide, but as he comes through sector 2 split here, 1.2 seconds slower in that middle sector alone. That's, yeah, loads. Country miles. The car's just not working on these tyres, and even if it stops raining now, I suspect it's only the guys who struggled with the weather that would actually improve. So worth going back out, seeing what you can do, judge the conditions ready for the race start, but as of right now, looks like it might well be wet weather. So there we go. So McGorgy completes his lap. We do have, because I'm alone in commentary today, basically Owen McGorgy and Sandeep Singh very kindly have agreed to be dragged in occasionally during the race if they're not under too much pressure to have a quick word with us. So I'm going to drag in Mr. McGorgy and Mr. Singh and say hello to these guys. So obviously it started raining. Owen, it looks like that was the earliest you've set pole this season, I think. Looks like it might stay that way.
Yeah, well, the rain's just stopped, so
it has just stopped. Yeah.
Here's Sandeep as well. Hello, say hello, Sandeep, to everyone.
Hello, guys.
I just didn't want to be alone, to be honest. It's nice to have you guys here. Thank you so much.
We might not do it in a race because it looks like it might be a bit hectic. But...
You can help us with strategy, actually. We.
No, what do you want me to do? If it's raining, just be on the wet tire.
I'll try.
Yeah.
But so how was your laps then in qualifying? Obviously it's going to be a little quieter now. I think everyone's realised that the rain is obviously affecting the track conditions. How was your lap in qualifying, Owen? I mean, that looks like you said it's roughly a PB, is that right?
I set a PB about half an hour ago, or maybe about an hour ago in our own server. I did like a low 0.3, but before today my PB was a 417.
Yeah.
So it was a good lap, but I thought I disconnected in the last sector.
Oh really?
Yeah. So no. that was a little bit rough, but.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen to you today. Honestly, like it was a nightmare for you a couple of rounds ago when it happened. So I do hope that doesn't happen. We always want a fair fight. Sandeep, you're much closer to Owen this time round. What happened? You managed to do some laps or something, or?
I've worked a lot more on the setup this time. Made it a lot more suited to my driving style compared to the first 6 races, and yeah, so far it seems to be working. The lap I actually did was just a banker. I actually wasn't expecting it to be a 0.6, so that was
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes when you drive at 95%, it is definitely raining again. By the way, Luke Mitchell's just gone skating off the track at turn 4. Yeah, it is. It sometimes is the case when you drive at sort of 92, 93%, you actually end up going just that little bit quicker, especially in cars like these that are so on edge. You can throw away lap time so easily. So, no, well done both. P1 and P2, I reckon, is pretty much confirmed. So thank you guys. We will probably end up speaking to you at some point later on.
Thanks.
Right.
See you in a bit, hopefully.
Hopefully
not with a DNF, because that would look awkward right now.
No, yeah, 100%. No.
Yeah.
You got it all to lose. Right, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks. See ya.
So that was the Road to Formula guys doing their best to help me out. Thank you so much. I've actually just had Jan Grankvist message me saying that he'd like to join. Do you know what? Yes. Come and join us, Jan. Because I'm sweltering in this room. I'm literally so hot in there. I've had to turn the fan off as well because it's interfering with the microphone. So I'm sorry, I'm just filling with nonsense. But the rain really has put a halt to competitive qualifying today. Everyone's first round of laps are going to be the competitive ones. Hoyt, look, Son's some wings. Christian, look at the lap times though. I mean, 2.7 seconds off in the middle sector for Christian Francesconi here. The track is just damp and it's pouring down, by the way. So this would soon be into conditions. You can see the spray coming off the tyres as he sets a 21.7. That's surely time for Inters, actually. Be nice to see if what the Inters can do and what the crossover point would be, actually. That would be a nice bit of info. Here's Lorenzo Capolini. And let's have a look at his first sector. So he's on Inters. Okay, so this is a nice gauge. So we just saw a 21. A 21 from... here's Jan Grangfist. Hello.
Hello.
So thank you for joining me. I was going to be alone / with Road to Formula occasionally joining in. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Although I think I might be experiencing some internet issues. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but
oh, good.
Sounds very robotic. That's all I can say.
I sound robotic. Oh, that's just my just my voice, mate. So yeah, how have you found? Have you been watching qualifying? How have you found it so far? If you've not been watching, I'll tell you what happened. Everyone set a lap time. It rained. No one improved.
Yeah, I saw that part, and I witnessed the part where Owen and Sandeep even got to be interviewed. But yeah, I think I might have to restart my PC or something because you two sound very robotic to me.
Oh, no drama. Yeah, well, we'll see you shortly. Thank you for dipping your toes in the water of commentary tonight. We'll see you in a second.
I'm gonna be honest, I cannot understand a single word right now. So
no drama. See you in a second. So whilst Jan sorts his life out, not ready to join the broadcast clearly, we will. Has the rain gone? Is still raining? It's very interesting. Oh, Szymon just said something interesting. He said the rain has gone off the forecast. Why is it toying with us like this, Szymon? It's we don't know what's going to happen when we get to the race start. Basically, it's supposed to be raining a little bit, might not. Who knows? So okay, so it's still raining. Okay, it stopped. We don't know. Is the long and short of it. Galka's very wide through there, manages to hook it round eventually. Had an up and down season so far. So he's done a 19.6 on softs. I would very much like to see what... Is it Capolini who's on the Inters? What's his lap time going to be? That's my that's the bit I'm interested in most. Magnussen comes through and sets a 20.4 for Gallery 82. We have, I should say at this point, we've had to say goodbye to Damien Kardash. He is not going to be racing, at least for the foreseeable. He announced sort of a retirement. It was like a retirement from sim racing message. So very sad to see Damien Kardash go. He's been a big part of GPVWC for a few years now. His Platt, who's giving the Inters a go. I think this is more just to kind of feel what the track conditions are like and see exactly how the treaded, wetter tyres will deal with these conditions. It doesn't look like it's raining. My screen, I don't know if it is or not. It's a bit difficult to tell in the little picture that we're watching, but it does look like it might have stopped raining. But Platt's on those Inter tyres, so if you don't know anything, I'm sure you all know everything. The Inters do have an operating window for when it's damp to almost fully wet conditions, and then you go onto the wet tyre for those conditions. The tyres in GPVWC set up that way. So you can see on his, if you look on the left front where there's actually a light reflection, you can see the tread going around. It will help clear the water from the tyre. And yeah, it's certainly one of those things kind of unique to motorsport in general, that you have different equipment for different conditions and completely different sort of styles of tyre and so on. So yeah, Platt's out there on those Inters. Let's see what he can do. 2.6 seconds off in the first sector. How does that? Yeah, that's going to be too slow. So this is kind of the crossover. This level of wetness is the, crossover. You're better off staying out on slicks in these conditions, it seems. Platt's coming through second sector and he's 4 seconds off in that middle sector. We're on board. I mean, it didn't look too slow. So that's so far cumulatively, he's 6.5 seconds slower. So that would be slower than the 19 we just saw on the softs. He's coming through the final. Yeah, he's about 4 or 5 seconds off, isn't he? 4 seconds off. So yeah, the conditions not wet enough for those inter tyres, but not a great deal changed from that first set of laps. Everyone who went out there and got those laps in early has definitely benefited from the conditions, and it is no surprise that McGorgy has topped the timesheets, I would say. So, McGorgy from Singh, Pascal, Schluter, Perlock, and Platt in 6th position for DR Geeks. In 7th place is Hygo Poom. 7th is Noel Tuomela. I'm going to struggle with that today. Michael Francesconi and Fabrizio Gobbi in 10th place. The numbers are lying to me. 11th place is Christian Francesconi. 12th is Musaidis, I believe. I feel like what's going on here? I feel like we've lost it. Oh, okay, so Owen disconnected. Right, okay. Add 1 to each one of the numbers on the left. So you've got Capolini's in 13th, 14th is Zongoli, Remco Dezeo is in 15th. I can't do it. 16th is Craig Patterson, 17th is Sylvie Offer, 18th is Tom van der Voort, and 19th Mitchell with Hoyt in 20th. I can't do it. That's so hard to do. Then 21st, Dominique Korshapin. 22nd, Massimiliano Riboli, who is driving for Valley, which technically has the best car, but obviously he was suffering in the wet conditions. 23rd, Michal Galka. 24th is Patrick Magnussen, deputising for Damien Kardash today. Well, presumably, semi-permanently. Thank you guys for listening to a riveting qualifying session. I'm just going to go and go downstairs and get some water, try and cool off a bit. My room is hotter than the sun. And I will be back in around 2 minutes. Hello everyone. Noah. This is such a tongue twister. Like, honestly, Noah Tuomela on screen. Tuomela. I need to. Where's Jan Grankvist when you need him? Literally, he would tell me exactly how to say this. He's obviously from Finland, and he is. Look, okay, so it looks like it might be a bit drier in warm-up. I don't know what you think, Szymon. He's going to speak in my ear, but you won't be able to hear him. But it's definitely looking drier. Yeah, it does feel like it's drying up, the little voice in my ear says. And Tuomela will hope, I would think, to improve on its qualifying position. He's right near the back. Not really his fault, just a case of it being a little being a little late on coming out on track when it was raining in qualifying. So qualifying obviously setting the grid for today's race, and yeah, everyone who did a lap in dry conditions up near the front, and everyone who left it a couple of laps, or at least a minute or two. He absolutely is, yeah, Tillman absolutely caught out by that. So yeah, gonna do his best to improve his grid position. So let's briefly talk about the championship positions. So we have got McGorgy and Singh topping the championships, both. So McGorgy and Singh topping the drivers' standings. They are first and second for Road to Formula, therefore Road to Formula topping the team's championship. Giuseppe Ragusa, who isn't here, is P3, but he's being replaced by Mark Schluter for this round, so will not be able to chase down the R2F boys. Fabrizio Gobbi is fourth, and he is here. So you can see TX3, if they put those results together and didn't skip rounds every now and again, they would be right up there. But Schluter, an able replacement. He's definitely had pace all season when he's deputised. Just hasn't quite put the races together, but certainly has had pace to show. He is a good driver and will do a good job in that very distinct half and half TX3 livery. I think it's quite cool to have a half and half livery, but you do have to kind of like remember what car you're looking at. From the side that's black, it does look like a couple of other cars on the grid. It's only when you see the flashes of green, neon highlighter green, that you can tell it's a TX3 car. But Schluter deputising once again. He is currently in 11th place in warm-up, but plenty of pace, I'm sure, to be found in that car. So Dylan Platt is P5 in the championship, and he is, I think he's 6th in qualifying. So he certainly is one to watch out for. He's got decent pace. Has finished on the podium a good couple of times this season. In fact, his results are DNF, 6th, 3rd, 5th, 4th, and 3rd. So very consistent finishing from Dylan Platt. And he certainly had opportunities to win. I remember at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, he was running a different level of downforce to everyone else. And Schluter goes P1, by the way, in warm-up. So showing that the track is improving when he crosses the line and goes top of the timesheet. So, yeah, Platt certainly had opportunities to win this season, just never quite put it together. But he is one to watch. He's currently P11, but doesn't really mean too much in warm-up, I would say. Now, the interesting thing is, if it does rain, and it's a big if, but if it does rain during warm-up / prior to start of the race, then the drivers are not obliged to start on dry tyres. They can start on wet tyres. But if they do choose to start on dry tyres, they have to start on the tyre that they qualified on if they qualified in the top 10. So it's an interesting rule. It's an old F1 rule that has changed in F1 these days. I think it's definitely a good rule. It opens up the strategy. It means you can qualify outside the top 10 and not be stuck in DRS train all race on the same strategy as everyone else. It makes it a little bit more interesting. I prefer the rule like that. It's my personal opinion. I'm sure you guys will disagree in the chat. But yes, it's it's a good rule, and it means if you do have a bad qualifying, you can make up for it. Stick a harder set of tyres on, potentially run a bit longer into the race. So Damien Kardash says in the chat, just say no, Toby. Okay. No, I'm gonna give it a go. That's my plan. That's my plan. Good. So anyway, Platt P1 now. So the track is definitely improving, and that TR Geeks car looking fine. It's actually it's nice. Like the colours are nice, aren't they? They are nice. I didn't do this livery. I'm not actually promoting my own services this time, but yeah, it is a nice looking livery. I think bit unusual. But we have plenty of good liveries in Superlights. In fact, GPV as a whole, there's a lot of creative people out there, and but this is certainly one of my favourites in the Superlights Championship. I'm sure you all have your favourite liveries. I'll probably disagree. Wonder what everyone else is doing in terms of lap times. So everyone seems to be kind of... Okay, so it is fully dry now. There is no rain on the track. Everyone's doing competitive lap times as if it was the race start. But we still don't know what's going to happen at the start of the race. And I would like to know what the weather's currently looking like. I don't know where Szymon gets his weather info from. That's pretty cool. So what's the latest, Szymon? What's happening? Is it going to rain? Is it not? Now it says rain in an hour, says the voice in my ear. Okay. Well, that would be spicy, wouldn't it? Yeah, but can you imagine if the last few laps of the race, though, it went full wet and everyone was on slicks? That would be cool. You'd be like, would you stay out? Would you pit? It could be absolute chaos. That might keep things interesting for the end of the race. Because I feel like it might otherwise be quite a long slog, especially if the two fastest drivers are at the front as they currently are. Could potentially slip away from people. But Sandeep said, I mean, he could... he's definitely been closer. He was working on the setup more, he said in the interview and qualifying. Maybe it suits him a little bit better. Maybe he's able to stay with Owen this race. That would be nice. And certainly those two can just battle it out. They've got such a commanding lead in the team's championship, and Owen's miles ahead in the drivers currently. It probably would be nice to see two people battling at the front of the Superlights Championship. Craig Patterson deputising once again for Liam Duval, who hasn't turned up, is the nicest way of saying it, for the last couple of rounds. In fact, no, that's a lie. He was at Germany. He finished 5th, but he wasn't at Azerbaijan or Jeddah. So sad not to have Liam Duval on the grid. Actually, he's a very entertaining driver to watch and a good chap. But he's decided he doesn't want to race today. So Craig Patterson is deputising in that Fusion car. Here's Michael Francesconi boxing. So the TG Racing Esports driver going into the pit lane. It's an interesting pit lane here. It's very long, and it's also next to a very fast part of the track. Obviously the start finish rate is always fast, but it's even faster this season. So strategy, it would be beneficial to do fewer pit stops if you can get away with it. So that will be the key tonight. Do people try and stop one fewer time or not? That's the big key and the big question. So, as warm-up ends, we get ready for the start of the race and obviously the gridding process. And everyone is going to be doing practice starts and making sure that all of their strategy options are correct. And for the next 30 seconds, whilst we wait for the warm-up session to take over to race, I will be right back, literally right back. I just need to refill my water, ready for the race. It's so hot in my room. I'm back. I reckon the only thing hotter than my room is the surface of the sun, I swear to God. Okay. I'm hoping Jan rejoins us for the race, but it's not imperative that he does. It's obviously going to be a fun one today, I'd imagine, if the rain does play a part. As the session slips over towards the race, we will be gridding up and going on a formation lap. And whilst the drivers form up, and whilst we move over to the next session, Jan Grankvist has rejoined us. Hello. Hopefully you can hear us a little better now. Mr. Jan Grankvist, can you hear us? I don't think we're going to have... He left. I don't think we're going to be able to hear Jan today. It's just going to be me. I hope you guys don't mind, but I am eventually going to might lose my mind a little bit today. It is. I can't tell you how hot it is. I'm in the attic room, right? So obviously the heat rises. It's about 40 billion degrees in the UK today anyway. And I can't have my fan on because it interferes with my microphone too much. So if I start saying nonsense later in the race, more than usual, do let me know. Thanks. So here's the starting grid for today's race. Owen McGorgy, once again pole position for Road to Formula. Alongside him his teammate Sandeep Singh. Christian Pascal in the Red Arrow quietly did a really good job there, and he is in third position. Herlock, his teammates, in fifth. Dylan Platt sixth. Hugo Poom and Noah Tuomela in eighth position. I will get it right. Michael Francesconi ninth position. Fabrizio Gobbi in 10th. Christian Francesconi and Stavros Mosaidis in 12th place for Bala. In 13th is Lorenzo Capolini with Remco De Zeo for Fusion in 14th. His teammate Craig Patterson 15th position. Will Silva Joffer for TTF in 16th place. 17th is Tom van der Voort for Dreig, and alongside him is Luke Mitchell deputising, also for Dreig. Kilian Huit and Dominique Horshaven, the Team Balish Esports drivers, 19th and 20th, and Massimiliano Rapoli in 21st, Michal Galka in 22nd, Patrick Magnus in 23rd, and Flavio Zongoli behind him in 24th, with Alex Hallows. Oh, didn't see him in qualifying. Hello, Alex. Joining the back of the grid for TTF in 25th place. I think I missed saying a driver's name there. I feel like I didn't say. Was Schluter in fourth? Yeah, I think Schluter was fourth, and I missed saying Schluter. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can see the drivers on the left, what their starting tyres is going to be. A fairly standard selection there. The top 10 obviously having to start on those soft tyres. Soft tyres providing more grip will run out of life sooner. So you'd expect the top 10 to pit sooner than everyone else to get some fresh rubber on their car. Medium is a nice compromise, and the hard tyre should last the longest but will be the slowest tyre initially anyway. Although I'm told that the C1, the hard tyre, is a very... is that rain? There is rain. Good. Okay, cool. Right, well. This will be fun. So okay, so I wonder if... Has anyone boxed? So Hallows is starting from the pit lane. I wonder if... I think he's on dries. He looked like he was on mediums. Okay, so the grid is formed. We are ready for the start of the race. It is going to be treacherous on this first lap. And the question is, do people think it's wet enough to box at the end of the first lap? This has spiced things up nicely, hasn't it? Okie dokie. Well, let's see what happens. As the lights come on, they're going to get 5 red lights. And then when they go out, we'll be underway, which we are. And McGorgy gets a decent start. In fact, Sandeep Singh straight over to getting his slipstream from third place. Alongside him, going down the inside is Pascal. He's slipstreaming, and he's going 3 wide, actually, Pascal. Very racy on the opening lap. But Singh loses out then to the Red Archer driver, Silva Joffer. We're watching further back. Someone seems to have a slight engine issue, but it seems to be, I can't see who it is. It seems to have cleared itself up. It's probably just a little bit of overheating. Pascal is getting really aggressive on this first lap, and he's going round the outside of McGorgy, and he takes the lead of the race. And McGorgy's fighting back, but he's not going to get through there. So Pascal leads for Red Arrow. What a great start by him. And behind him, so Gobby's lost some positions at the start. Gobby down in P10 for TX3. Pascal, though, what a start for the Red Arrow driver. Oh, sideways is Koshovin. We've seen that a few times this season. And there's some big damage for someone further back. Big damage. Didn't see who that was. Remco De Zeo, apparently. So Remco is going to be in trouble at the end of the first lap. He might as well stick some inters on. I don't know if it's still raining, actually. Doesn't look like it is, you know. It might have just been a little splash. Okay, so it is still raining. You can see on the onboard, there's definitely some dampness going on those wheel covers, but the track not yet wet enough. This will be fun though, breaking into the first corner. So Joseph Herlock, P7, watching him now for Red Arrow. Schluter on the outside here, and it's not too bad yet. Not too bad yet. But Pascal, what a start for Red Arrow. And he takes the lead of the race. So fantastic for him. So Schluter's now being attacked here by Dylan Platt. And round the outside goes Schluter. If you can hold it all the way around the outside, you still got the inside line for the next corner. Oh, Platt cut across him. There was contact there. You've got to be a little bit careful doing that, but Platt does hold on to the position. Personally, I felt like Schluter could have deserved a little more room than that, Dylan. But Dylan deciding he wanted to get his elbows out on lap 2 of a 54-lap race. That was very close to a bit of major contact there between the two. We're zipping around, but Renko Dezeo boxing, look, no rear wing for him. Here's the contact then. So what do we think happened here? So was this Harshamin going up the inside, making contact with him, spinning around? That's pretty poor. And then yes, for quite a few seconds he was stationary there. I don't know if it maybe Huet was blinded by that, but the two teammates there ganging up on Dezeo. Dezeo was DNF'd from this race, as has Michal Galka. So we've lost 2 drivers already, and Huet is 128 seconds off the lead. So it's going to take that's okay. So that just jumped forwards to 55 seconds. Interesting. Tyres wise, so I wonder if Huet is gambling on inters. Okay, so what are we watching here? So this is a separate incident this lap. Okay, so there's Van der Voort. Okay, that was quite hard to pick the bones out of that, really. I'd like to see that again. I guess this is Michal Galka's end. This is how he ended. So, okay, nope, that is just a pure disconnection. It's exactly the same as what we saw from Owen a couple of rounds ago, so that's a shame for Galka. You see the rain coming down, though. But yeah, I want to see this again. So, okay, so wide goes, I think is that Patterson? So wide goes Patterson. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's not a great deal. It's just a bit of a mistake from the Fusion driver, and unfortunately, a bit of a passenger Van der Voort. So, DRS is available to the driver. So DRS, the drag reduction system, opening the rear wing. Magorgi's got the advantage of that, goes flying down the inside of Pascal, who defends that very hard, and he's going to hold it around the outside. Magorgi gives him room. They touch wheels, and through goes Magorgi, but that will be damage for at least for Pascal's front suspension, I'd imagine. His Silver Yoffair going side by side, same thing, same bit of. Okay, so this time he holds the inside, bit more wheel banging, but Yoffair is okay. So Yoffair is overtaken by Zongoli there. And Zongoli really quite aggressive with Yoffair. Yoffair is now going to try and hang it around the outside of turn 4. He's going to run out of track if he's not careful. He's still there alongside Zongoli. This is good stuff. Now he's down the inside. Zongoli has to concede the position. Through goes Yoffair for TTAP up to P13. But Magorgi leads then. Pascal has been overtaken. So his aggressive lap 1 manoeuvres. And Singh's lost a position as well to Poom somewhere. Not sure how that happened exactly. We've got a yellow flag, so someone's in the wars. Van der Voort still in the pit lane. Magnussen apparently is the man with the yellow, well, causing the yellow flag. Hopefully we'll find out what that is momentarily. But through goes Magorgi then. So this time he leads from Pascal. And they do have push to pass available alongside the DRS, the drag reduction system, opening that rear wing, enabling the car to go faster in a straight line. They also have the push to pass. We don't see the push to pass values, but they get in this series 80 seconds for the whole race. They can use it whenever they like. Gives them a power boost to the engine. So this is what happened with Magnussen. So this is the final corner. Ooh, on the curb. Oof, that'll be a lot of damage to repair there. Yeah, you've got to be careful in these cuts. So you need to run them low to get the downforce. But obviously, if you go over the curb, over those serrated curbs too wide, the car will bottom out exactly the same as what's happened to Herlock here. He's going to... Okay, well done for holding the brakes. So you don't hold the brakes there. You go rolling back across the track. Potential damage. Well done, Joseph. There. Oh no, Zongoli's crashed. So so what happened here? We're spending more time in replay than we are watching live. Sorry, guys. Oh, please don't tell me it's because he's being too aggressive back again. No. No, actually. he kind of lost it on power because of the side-by-side contact. It's a bit unlucky, actually, for Flavio. So he is going to have to recover to the pit lane. I don't know if he'll bother, to be honest. That looked like a lot of damage. That'll be a long time to repair that. All side-by-side, Tormella, and who is that behind him? So Tormella is Francesconi, Michael Francesconi for TG. So Tormella side-by-side. Here's Luke Mitchell in the other drag. So Van der Voort in the pit lane. Luke Mitchell in 13th place. Our Formula Sprint 2 championship leader trying his hand at the championship slightly higher up. There's a bit of lag there going on, actually, doesn't it? It looks like the off-air's got maybe a couple of lag spikes going on. Mitchell down the inside into turn 5. This will be easy now. He should have track position. Well, he's still there, isn't he, off-air? Okay, surely the move will be done now. You can't go side by side through here. Yeah, so that is not wise from the off-air there. It was always going to end that way. Even if you give someone room, it's so difficult to exactly and precisely plot your way through there. So I'm afraid that was predictable. Hopefully he doesn't lose too much time. Didn't look like he picked up any damage really, but yeah, Joffe, yeah, he's got going again, but he's 7 seconds, 8 seconds back of Mitchell now, so not ideal. Sometimes it's better to, you know, not fight your corner so hard early on. Maybe save it for later in the race. Sandeep Singh side by side here with Dylan Platt. I'll tell you what, that DRS zone looks very powerful down into turn 1, doesn't it? We've seen a lot of action down into that first corner. Everyone using the DRS rear wing activation to improve their straight line speed. Here's the off air again. So I feel like at this point, you know you're alongside, just back out. Instead he tries to go side by side. Mitchell left him enough room, really. It's just one of those racing incidents. But certainly if it was me, I'd be backing out of that one, I think. Here's Schluter. And we've got another replay. Okay, no, we're okay, but that was cancelled. Here's Schluter. He's catching the back of Sandeep Singh. Apologies about that bug in the replay then, but he's catching the back of Sandeep Singh, who's been battling with Platt, but Platt seems to have dropped in slightly. You know what, the leading 3 cars, they're staying in touch, you know. And by the way, it doesn't look like it's raining anymore, so that little bit of excitement in the first couple of laps, hopefully that's not all the rain we get. Well, I mean, for the driver's sake, you know, they probably wanted to stay dry the entire race, but for me, I would very much like a little bit of spice. Rain's still around, says the voice in my ear. Do you mean forecast-wise? Yes, okay. Forecast-wise, rain is still around. Do you know what? Good. Good. People are trying to help out Jan in the chat. We actually have a fight for the lead, says Josh Downer. Do you know what? Yes, we do. We've got 3 cars within a second for now. Obviously, the DRS helping that. Platt has gapped Singh, but Singh's still within DRS range. You have to be within a second of the car in front, remember, in order to get DRS. Here's Fabrizio Gobbi for TX3. Slightly further down than I think he would like. I wonder if he got some contact or something on lap 1, because he certainly normally is well within the top 5. Heiko Poom, look, he's had some bad luck this season as well. He got Alex Lahoud at Jeddah and was very much in the fight for the win at that track. Here, once again, top 3. His teammate right behind him in 4th place. We're in for a long race, but if these guys stay in that DRS train, certainly if Platt, who's not far behind at all, by the way, he's only, what is he, 1.8 seconds back. If he can get within DRS, he just needs a couple of laps, fast laps to get there. He could join that fight too. I'm told the undercut's powerful, but of course it's 26 second-ish pit delta. So if you pit from the lead, you're going to be down 14th, 15th position right now. There is a gap appearing in front of Joffe that we saw, who we saw sort of lose some time. So, you know, if you give it a couple more laps, you might be able to get out in that gap. And then, of course, some nice fast laps in clean air. Definitely worth looking at the undercut at this point. Patterson then here He's behind. Is that Riboli? Yes, Riboli in the Valley car, and both of those drivers deputising for series regulars. And Patterson, of course, has appeared in all the different championships that we've got at GPVWC. A little bit wide there for Riboli. So Riboli driving in Formula Sprint 2 this season. He's doing a good... Patterson's nearly sideways. Here comes Poom. Okay, so this is the undercut zone, if you like. So I think they're trying to get out in front of Silver Yoffair. If they don't, it's quite a few cars around Yoffair. So this will be interesting. So out comes Poom. Has he got ahead of Yoffair? If he has, yes, he does. Okay, so it's more like 23, 24 seconds, the actual delta you need. Poom's got well in front of them, actually, look. So that's good from Poom and the strategist there. And they've got him into a gap. And as Tuomela goes side by side here with Silver Yoffair, and Tuomela makes his way by. So those two are, so they're on the same tyre, so they're both on the medium tyre. But it's interesting that we're on lap 9:10 is the softs, the lasting two. So this is interesting now. Realistically, McGorgy and Pascal have to react this lap to that undercut, and they have not. So I would expect Poom on those medium tyres now. He's pitted early, so we will suffer later in the race, but I expect him now to set very competitive sector times, and indeed he's set a purple middle sector, so he's half a second, faster than the leaders through sector 2. He's going to undercut them. He's going to come out in the lead, net race lead, when the others box. And as he crosses the line kind of now, so he's set to PB final sector as well. So yeah, he's going to easily cover off the two leaders. And Poom still does have a 3-second gap in front of him as well. So it's working out nicely for Heigl Poom. Watch out for that when the pit stop cycle round. He just will suffer a little later in the race, but he's got onto the mediums. So he's presumably going to try and do 20-odd laps on those, and then maybe medium to the end, possibly. You'd have to do sort of 21. Yeah, you could do that. That makes sense. So here's Pascal and McGorgy then. They're just coming up on some lap traffic. That looks like Hewitt in front of them. And so these two, I'd expect them to box kind of now, really. Unless they feel like they can extend further. Okay, this is interesting. So it's a big undercut from Poom. Big undercut. He's going to come outside of their DRS. So they're going to have to rely on newer tyres to catch and repass him. Oh, we've got a huge crash! Oh no, it's Silver Yoffair. There's no point trying to drive that, my friend. You're missing a wheel. That is game over. What happened here? I suspect he lost it on the curb on the outside, maybe bottoming out on the curb, and zoop, around the car goes, and then he's going to get collected. Oh my goodness. Who was that, and why didn't they brake? Why didn't they brake? Okay, can we watch that on board from Patterson, please? Love to see his inputs here. It looks like he drove flat out. You can do it. It looks like he drove flat out and trying to guess which way to go. Look at the throttle trace. Oh dear. Yeah. Almost full throttle all the way through that. Trying to guess which way to go. Slams into the stationary sideways car. Just brake. Just brake. You don't cause a secondary bigger impact. Not ideal from Craig Patterson there. These two are... I mean, surely those tyres are hotter than my room is right now and screaming enough. And Owen decides that is the case. Pascal must be going for some crazy long soft strategy here. But McGorgy's going to come out miles behind Poom, you know. About 4 seconds, I reckon, behind Poom. It's going to be a big gap anyway. He's boxing now. Here comes Heigl Poom, who has just caught the back of Harshavin. But this should be taking candy from a baby, and is. So, oh, it's much closer than I thought. Okay, how? I'm very confused. Okay, someone needs to explain how that's happened, because unless Poom had a really bad final sector, did he? Oh, he did, you know. He had a really bad final sector, stuck behind Horshavin. So, wow, okay. So Poom was like 2 seconds faster than Magorgi on the previous 2 laps. He should have jumped him by miles. That's very confusing. Someone please help. I'm waiting for someone to help in the chat. Someone help in the YouTube chat, please. How that happened? That's confused me very much. What is Pascal doing? He's on a different set of softs than anyone else. But there we go. It must just be traffic. Karshavan must have held him up something rotten in that last sector. Hygo Poom. So Magorgi comes out ahead of Poom. So I'm still shocked that that's happened, because Poom was 2 seconds faster on the previous 2 laps. And then somehow, yeah, he lost time on that last lap, you know. Almost 2 seconds he lost. Very strange. Here's Horshavin coming in now. So we didn't even have to fight it that hard. Never mind. So Magorgi maintains the net lead. Pascal currently our leader, 2.4 clear of Singh, who is also stretching his tyres a long way. We're watching a replay now. Okay, so this is what was happening with Horshavin. So are we going to see anything that's specifically happening here? Or is it just stuck in traffic? He's just stuck, isn't he? That doesn't explain. Unless Poom's stop was somehow, because the maths isn't making sense and I'm too hot. No idea. No idea. Patterson's retired from the race, so obviously too much damage to fix. Yeah. How is Magorgi ahead of Poom? I don't get it. Oh my god, Poom's right there though. The traffic must be really bad. Like the dirty air must be really bad in that last sector. That's all I can think. Because look how much Poom's caught up to Magorgi, despite Magorgi being ahead of him. It just must be so bad through those fast corners that you lose a whole bunch of time. That's all I can think. Here's a replay of Platt. What are we going to? Oh no! Is he here still? Okay, good. We've seen that before from Platt. He's given me a heart attack this season, I swear. We saw him barreling into the wall at Australia, and then he wasn't. So welcome back, Dylan. These days, I like him. I'm used to it now. So Poom's right there. Okay, so Pascal still leads. Is Pascal pitting? He is 20. Yes. So Pascal boxes 20 seconds in the lead. Sandeep Singh is staying out. They must be trying to reduce the number of pit stops to 2, which unless Singh's going to go to the end on hards. It's such a long pit delta. I was told 26 seconds. It's clearly less than that. So here's Platt on the back of Luke Mitchell, who's doing a fine job up in P7. So Pascal comes out, and he's okay. That's a gap I would expect for someone who's done extra laps. Not what Magorgi did. Oh goodness, that's okay. He's going to be overtaken around the outside. What a move that is by Schluter. Opportunistic. Pascal still getting his tyres up to temperature, his brain back in gear, and Schluter nips on by and takes P8 away from him. What a move that was around the outside. Beautiful. Here's Hoyt, who has been over 100 seconds down in this race due to lap 1 damage. I wonder if he's fixed all of it, because that's kind of a bit of a lazy spin all by himself, unfortunately. And then does a 180 on the grass for good effect. He's still in the race though, so good. Noah Tourmiller, we're watching now. So he is in P10. Yet to box. So he is still out there on his... What's he on? No, he has boxed. Is that right? Yes, he boxed on lap 9. Okay, so he's on medium tyres now. So he started on softs, but from the back. Is that right? Yeah, I believe it is right. Here's Sandeep Singh boxing finally from the lead, and he is going to go on to. We wait for the screen to update. Mediums? It still says softs. Yeah, mediums on race view. We're waiting for it to update on the game. There is a little bit of a delay on the game, to be fair. Come on, let's just double check. Still saying softs. I assume it's mediums. There's no way you're going back on another set of softs, to be fair. I certainly wouldn't have thought that's the strategy. Yeah, he is back out on track. Yeah, mediums now is updated. We're looking at McGorgy and Poom. Here is Poom. He is right there with McGorgy. So, I mean, the undercut worked to an extent. He's definitely closer to McGorgy, but I'm still confused. So Jeffrey Fournier says Poom's pit stop, including pit delta and stop time, was like 2 seconds longer than Owen's pit stop. Yeah, I know. Why though? Like, what happened? Did you not request pit in time, or? Actually, do you know what it could be? Let me have a little look at the upgrades in Superlights, because you can upgrade the pit stop, people. So we've got Road to Formula. We've got 89% pit tire change upgrade. And TR Geeks have 65. That's not enough of a difference to make the time up, I would say. Very negatively, by the way, TR have upgraded their pit repair rate, which is an interesting upgrade. Anyway, Christian Pascal P7. He's making some progress due to other stopping. He's behind Schluter now, though, of course. After Schluter did that magic move around the outside of turn 1, as Pascal exited the pit lane. It's extremely hot in here, by the way. I can't tell you. I feel like I'm in a sauna. We are joined by Edward Hunter. Hello, Ed. How's it going?
Hey Toby, I didn't want to just barge in because it would have been rude, and B, I got the impression you almost didn't want my help.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm the only one available now, so I may as well punch in. Wow,
Thanks.
what a hectic start we've seen. I was very impressed by Christian Pascal at the start. Of course, he was driving over the weekend in FSR Pro and had a really strong race on the sort of mediums. Everyone else went for the alternate strategy, going for like the hard tires, and he was the only one who started on the mediums and then tried to get the hards to the end. So he's certainly good at going off strategy. You see Luke Mitchell exiting the pit lane for Drake Racing and rejoining down in 30th, just behind Massimiliano Riboli, who I think has just undercut him.
Yeah, so the strategy is playing out slowly. We saw Singh go very, very long on those tyres in his first stint, and obviously McGorgy going longer than Poom. So everyone, I believe, actually Mitchell's just gone to the hards, but everyone in the top 6 is currently on mediums, and they all have pitted apart from Francesconi and Musaidis, those two off sync. But yeah, these two here, very different laps they pitted on. So lap 9 for Poom, lap 12 for McGorgy. So the interesting thing will be here, Ed, how far they can get those medium tyres.
Yeah, that is definitely going to pay dividends later in the race when tyre life is going to be an absolute premium. Track temperature, by the way, 46 degrees, which is pretty high even by Barcelona standards. So that makes the hard tyre the absolute tyre of choice. The mediums are going to wear quicker than a cheese block in an alpine summer. To use a really bad expression.
Well, 46 degrees is how hot my room is right now, I reckon. So yeah,
You're doing well, all
hot.
things considered.
It's because I've been banned from using the fan. That's all it is. Like it literally sounds like I'm in like a jet engine. So
thank goodness you didn't have to babysit a bunch of Cub Scouts tonight in the middle of the summer and outside as well doing athletics badge. But hopefully someone will get a badge at the end of it, which makes it all worth it. But anyway, back to the race. Pascal, after his pit stop, is starting to gain ground on Schleuter ahead of him.
Yeah. So these two. So Pascal obviously is on the hard tyre, Mark Schluter in front of him, he is on the medium. So Pascal actually ran long and is now on hards. I wonder if he's trying to one-stop, which would be kind of crazy, I'd imagine. But those C1 tyres do last a long, long time. If he does one-stop, that'll bring him into a very interesting position later in the race. As Francesconi boxes, he's got a Fernando Alonso tribute helmet on for this round at Barcelona. Okay, so we're back to Francesconi. If we have a little look at his helmet, it's a cool tribute helmet. I'm gonna get it from that view. But he's running an Alonso tribute. It's cool. I like it when drivers do this kind of stuff. I like it in F1. There we go. So Francesconi exiting the pit lane now, and he's going to just slot in there behind. So
it's a lapped car.
Yeah, it's a lapped car. Yeah. Here's
McGorgy's got to move on here, hasn't he? You saw how wide he was going into turn 1. That was the exact line we saw a Hiller do in earlier last week in FS1, I think, when I was filling in commentary there, and it shows really how confident McGorgy is. He needs to get a move on here because Poom is all over the back of him too. Round the outside they go, Toby.
Yeah, and this is where the tyre difference makes a big difference. So Mercedes is at the end of his tyre life, and he's going to hold up Poom in the final sector now. This is not good for Hygo's race. He needs to clear him as soon as possible. It could well be that it's going to have to wait to the start-finish straight. Look at the gap that McGorgy's able to pull in those final couple of corners. He's going to get a good 8/10 on these guys. But Poom able to use the DRS, and him and Mercedes both on the DRS button. Looks like maybe both on the push to pass button. Mercedes is going to be able to defend this and sweeps around the outside in turn 1, but Poom with the better tyres holds the line around the outside and takes P2.
Yeah, some absolutely brilliant racing there between them.
There we go. I'm actually should be using the proper microphone now. Does that sound any better?
Yes.
I'll put it in because I didn't think I'd be doing any commentary today.
Oh, no, that sounds infinitely better. I need to get myself one of those. Perhaps not put it next to the fan
I
though.
was very lucky anyway, long story. But anyway, the race continues unabated then. McGorgy now in the lead from Poom with Platt third, Musidis fourth, and Schleute up to fifth, still holding off Christian Pascal. So let's see a replay then of what happened. This is good for me because I was completely distracted there.
Oh, no worries. So this is Platt then catching Mercedes. Is this Mercedes or is this Rebel?
Like
yeah, it's Mercedes. Yeah, so just dives down the inside. That tyre is on its way out for Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes, it's surely got to come into the pits soon. He's definitely going for a one-stop, going this long on the mediums.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, he's still staying out. So obviously not confident that he can get the hard to the end from here. But those mediums surely are screaming enough. Those mediums though are the C2 tyre, which is the second hardest tyre you can get. It's the hard for most rounds actually. So it's still a very competent tyre. As Schluter goes diving down the inside, Mark Schluter taking that position away, and he's up to P4.
Yeah, good performance there from Mark Schleute as well. We see also drives for TX3 in Formula Sim Racing as well. Here is Pascal trying to look up the inside of Mercedes. Mercedes again stranded on the outside, so that's the second lap in a row that's happened to him. So Stavros, it's surely a situation where he's got to just take the pain in this stint to benefit later on, as we see yellow in the middle sector. Oh, as Alex Hallow's out of the race, Toby.
Well, he's still got 4 wheels on his wagon, so he may be able to pick this back to the pit lane, but that's the other TTF. Yeah, the other TTF car in the walls at the exact same corner. I bet you it's the exact same problem, running too wide onto the curb on the outside. And, wow, he lost it before he even got to the curb. And both ends of the car gone. He did a good job to get off the... Okay.
Drove straight into the wall. I mean, that's one way to make sure the front wing falls off.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure that was the best recovery.
I don't think you meant to do that somehow, Toby.
Oh, God. Here comes Poom down the pit lane. And he's on a slightly different strategy. I reckon he's going hard to the end from here. Whereas potentially McGorgy... Okay, so McGorgy could do one or two things. He could cover him off now.
And there's Mercedes as well.
Yeah, Mercedes definitely going to go to the end from here on hards. He's trying the one stop. If Poom goes to the hards, yeah, so Poom on hards to the end from here is a viable option. McGorgy can either cover that off, or he can wait and go on another set of mediums in about 6 laps time. So that's the option there for McGorgy. It is kind of looking like it might be a 2-horse race though, unless Pascal's massive offset on strategy can get him into the mix, but Schluter in front of him on the mediums is currently the thorn in his side.
And interesting, Christian Francesconi and Stavros Musadis have both gone for the blue tyre, which is of course the softs, isn't it? So as you see, Francesconi is setting a fastest laps of the race, 1:18.162 there. So he's absolutely flying out there and trying to chase down the other Francesconi, who I assume is his brother and/or sibling, Michael.
Yeah, and/or.
I'll hedge my bets there.
I'm confused by this Musaidis strategy, to be honest. Why would you stretch the medium so long, have so much trouble with the tyre, and then stick set softs on? Wouldn't you try and mitigate the time loss that you've had already and just try and do one last stop?
Seems a little bit like he doesn't like the hard tyre, so he's just trying to do a strategy where he goes medium, soft, soft, so he doesn't have to run. But he's going to have to drag these softs quite a way into the race.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Right, it's a curious one. I think if he was going to go long at the beginning, hards would have been the better option, in my opinion. But Musaidis, I assume he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. I full on agree with you. Here's Pascal, who is on the hards and doing a decent job with them. He's actually setting lap times within a couple of tenths of the leader right now. You can see this on race-view.com. Click the GPVWC Sim Racing server at the top of the screen to see the live timing, which is where we're getting our tyre information from as well, by the way, guys. The live tyres that you see on the tower on the left side of your screen, you can also see it there, but we infrequently look at that. You can also see on the sidewalls the tyres. So the white tyre is the hard tyre, yellow, medium, soft is red, as per the tower.
Absolutely, and Christian Pascal, of course, it is going to come to him in this stint. Those mediums of Schluter ahead of him are going to start to fade, and that is going to really help Christian Pascal later on. But all the while, he's going to be losing time stuck behind the TX3 driver. So he's got to hope that he can use a bit of push to pass, a bit of DRS at exactly the right moment to catch him out. And here he comes into turn one, but he's going to run out of road once again. And Schluter doing everything right to hold him at bay at the moment.
Yeah, they could both be on the push to pass button. So I was saying earlier, you get 80 seconds of push to pass usage. You can use it whenever you like during the race. Both of them trying to hold one another off, potentially using that tool. And it is an interesting tool, actually. It's kind of unique to GPVWC that you get this button to use kind of randomly wherever you like during the race. Some people use it to set fast laps later on. Magorgi has done that this season. Some use it in attacking, some use it in defending. It's nice. I think it's a cool addition.
And it's certainly halfway through the race. It's good to see Magorgi still being challenged at this phase, because we've come so regularly in Superlights just to expect Magorgi to disappear up into the distance, and the race tends to only become a battle for the win between several drivers. If unfortunately, and heaven forbid, he never wishes to happen to a driver, something does happen to him. And opens up the field for the field behind them. But Magorgi not letting any opportunities slip up at the moment. Despite being jumped by Pascal at the start, he's really played the strategy extremely well at the moment, and the mediums seem to be holding up well for the top three, you would have to say, at this phase.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that Poom has gone onto those medium tyres. His teammate Dylan Platt comes trundling down the pit lane, and still no way through for Pascal. So Platt is coming off those medium tyres now. What does he put on? He is
a set of mediums, maybe.
Yeah, it looks that way. We can't always rely on R Factor 2 to update immediately, as the Francesconi possibly brothers swap positions going into turn one. So Christian now leading Michael with the Alonso helmet. Very nice.
And they are both teammates as well, which makes it even more confusing between the two. But only one of them has got the Fernando Alonso sort of blue and yellow Oviedo, of course, Fernando's hometown flag sort of colours. And there's a killing Goot right at the back of the field for Team Balaz Esports, just dropping it on the exit of 10 and into 11. But no harm done there, just going back to the classic 2021 layout, I think, there with the tighter turn 10.
Yeah. He's been in the wars, has Killian, this race. He had some significant damage on lap 1, and he is last of the runners currently, but still there, because he very easily might pick up points this race. We're only just over halfway. We've lost a lot of drivers already, 7 retirements already, and could easily have a few more. He might get points. Here comes Pascal this time on Schluter. He goes round the outside, and he has got it done finally. Chops in front. That was a nice hot move. The only thing hotter than my room right now is that move.
Yeah, exactly. And 15 laps Schleiter's done on those mediums, so they are starting to we're starting to see the track come into hard territory, because Pascal has only been on the hards 12 laps as well, so not only do he have fresher tyres, but they are wearing a lot slower, so that meant he had plenty of tyre life to play with there into turn 1. He got the run that he needed, and Schleiter, who put up a valiant defence, is now going to have to focus on holding third from Sandeep Singh now.
Poom is a second lap faster than McGorgy out in front, so Poom's currently 19
that's
seconds
on the mediums
back,
too.
and he's on the mediums. Yeah. So, but the thing is, Poom almost, I mean, he definitely does, has to stop again, as does McGorgy. So Poom's trying to make up 19 seconds in this race. If he continues a second lap faster for the next few laps, he definitely is in with a shout of doing that. So, yeah, see what happens.
If you look at Hygo's strategy, by the way, Poom has gone 9 laps on the hards at the start, 14 laps on the mediums, and now 4 laps on another set of mediums. So he's just decided he really likes the medium tyre, and he's just chewing through them at a rate of knots, but he is gaining the time and gaining positions in the process.
He presumably is going to go another set of mediums in 10 laps time, which would leave him 15 laps to the end on mediums. So he's 3 stopping. So he thinks that's faster, and he's going down the inside here of Michael Francesconi, and passes him easily with the aid of DRS. Here's Tuomela into the pit lane for Gallery 82, and Tuomela is also going to another set of mediums, so he is also on a 3-stop strategy.
And here we go, Tuomela comes out of the pits, just there behind Luke Mitchell there in the drag racing car. But the interesting thing here is that Christian Pascal, now that he's been released, having got past Mike Schleiter, has set a purple first sector and a personal best lap of the race, 1:18.411. So that was nearly 9 tenths quicker than McGorgy last time around. We see Riboli putting on a fresh set of boots and rejoining the fray.
Dylan Platt's the interesting one. So on his fresh set, he has just done the fastest overall lap of the race, 17.7, which is 1.6 seconds faster than McGorgy's currently doing. And they're both on medium. So McGorgy presumably is trying to 2-stop, maybe go soft, medium, medium. He currently leads, but only by 2.8 from Pascal, who is reeling him in quite quickly. And the other thing to note is McGorgy's top speed is 5 clicks slower than Pascal's on race view. So they're obviously running slightly different downforce levels. It is one of those tracks where you try to run as much downforce as possible, but it could well be, I don't know if it's Pascal's being assisted there by a little bit of DRS, bit of push to pass, but potentially there's a difference in, okay, so apparently they have the same top speed in quality, so all of that's a moot point. Tuomela down the inside.
Through on Luke Mitchell then, so Mitchell on the hards, he couldn't really have done much to defend at all against the fresh mediums on the Gallery 82 there. So Tuomela through, and now chasing a position in the top 10, currently held of course by Musaidis in the Valley Esports car.
Musaidis on a very strange counter strategy to everyone else.
It's a counter strategy, I think, at this point.
Musaidis on the softs, as is Christian Francesconi in 6th position, which is a very good showing for Christian. He's been kind of up and down this season. He's been in the wars, but I think that would be his best result if it's 6th place. Is he?
Leader in.
Season? Okay. From here, you'd have to go hard, right? 23 laps
You'd
on
think
mediums.
So. Schleiter doing the same as well.
So McGorgy did 17 laps on those mediums and decided that was enough. So you'd really hope, he's definitely going to go hard, I would say. Poom then is going to do McGorgy easily by a few seconds. Look, so Poom's undercut. So okay, and that's white striped tyres for McGorgy. So he's going to the end on these hards. Couldn't get the mediums to last long enough. Poom now needs to make hay while the sun shines, and then stick a set of mediums on and hunt McGorgy down. This is interesting. The counter strategy for Poom has worked. He's got ahead. He's 7-second gap to the next car in front of him, and he's got to hope that Christian Francesconi does hold up McGorgy for a lap or two. This could play into Poom's hands, you know. It really could. There's plenty of laps left, and he's 5 seconds ahead of McGorgy with plenty of cars between them.
Yeah, including his teammate Dylan Platt, of course. Although Platt on a slightly different strategy on the mediums at the moment. He's been on them 4 laps though, so this could play a little bit against McGorgy if the traffic. I say traffic because they are fighting for position, aren't they? If it's not very compliant and starts holding him up especially in sector 2, where you can easily lose lots of time if you're on fresher tyres than someone on old tyres is just hugging the middle of the road and not letting you through, or not making it easy, that's for sure. And here is Owen then, already caught up to the back of Michael Francesconi.
Yeah, this should be relatively easy. He's going to be on the push the pass button, try and get by as soon as possible, and blasts past Francesconi down into turn 1. That was nice and easy.
Yep, so 1 down, a few more to go though, but you can't rely on everyone ahead of him pitting. So Dylan Platt next up, and I imagine Dylan, who has battled with McGorgy many times in the past, is looking forward to renewing the conflict between the pair.
Well, Platt's the interesting one because he's obviously Poob's teammate, and Poob is the most likely person. I mean, we can't rule out Sandeep Singh here either, or frankly Pascal. But to be honest, I haven't got the mental capacity to work out all of the different strategies. But Pascal's 5 seconds ahead of Singh. Pascal's on hards. He's going to have to box again as well, as is Poom, who's 13 seconds behind him. But so Pascal might be in the driving seat, you know. I don't think he can get to the end, can he?
It does look unlikely. He's done 16 laps on the hard tyres, so I'm not sure what the max stint length on the hards is. It's going to be about 25 to 30 laps, I think, if you really stretch it. But 1:19.0 last time around, so the pace doesn't look too bad from Pascal at the moment. He's setting about the same times as Singh behind him. But then we got Hygo Poom in the 1:18.4s, and here we go, McGorgy lighting up time screens too, and now make it to the inside. Oh my goodness me, that's Dylan Platt, sorry, making a move there.
Yeah, Platt left that quite late to make that move, you know. He could have gone to the outside, but it worked in the end. So he squeaks his way by Christian Francesconi up to P5, and he's behind his teammate Hygo Poom, who is not exactly setting the timing sheets alight on those medium tyres. He does need to make some progress if that 3-stop strategy is going to work for him. It's interesting, we've got a potential one-stop strategy from Pascal, 2 stops from Singh and McGorgy, and so McGorgy's on hards. Singh's going to go mediums potentially. He did 16 laps on softs. He's done 16 so far on the mediums. It's all I love Superlights. I love watching Superlights because you can have any different set of strategies and it all works.
I feel like Dylan Platt made that move because he saw McGorgy was behind him and wanted a car in between the pair, give him a bit of breathing space, and this is a bit of a tricky situation for TR Motorsports because now they've got to decide, do they keep positions or do they maybe let Platt through? His pace is like 4 or 5 tenths quicker per lap. Here comes McGorgy. He is not hanging around, is he, Toby?
No, he's desperate to make up positions as fast as possible. He wants to okay, this could be a little bit more tricky. So Francesconi is defending this one. He's on softs as well, but McGorgy sweeps through. In fact, he was ahead before the braking zone. That was easier for him. As Fabrizio Gobbi makes a pit stop, we haven't spoken too much about him. He's gone soft, and he got 21 laps out of the hards. So he has 20 laps left in this race, and he's gone hard tyres again. Very close to crossing that pit exit line there, Fabrizio. You've got to be a bit more careful than that, I would say. And he comes out just ahead of Noah Duhamel. It's so hard to say that. It's a proper tongue twister.
A little bit, yes. But I think Gobi is going to go to the end. Gobbi? Oh.
Gobbi, 100% Gobbi.
Yes.
It's got to be.
No, TX3 driver, the Italian Fabrizio Gobbi, is definitely going to go to the end on those hards. 20 laps, he can do that easily. And it's everyone else, it's the likes of Pascal that are going to start to look at those, especially the front right going through turn 3 where it takes a lot of punishment. They're going to start feeling a little bit nervous, aren't they? 18 laps now on the hards, and the pace 1:19.2 last time round, but he's still a tenth quicker than Sandeep Singh on the mediums behind him. So you've got to say Pascal doing as good a job as he can at the moment, but is that strategy going to be enough to keep the likes of Hygo Poom and Owen McGorgy at bay?
If I'm Pascal, I'm wondering if I go mediums and box again rather than trying to get to the end, because McGorgy's because McGorgy's 1.5 seconds a lap faster at the moment, so he's going to catch him by the end. There's 20 laps left and he's 15 seconds back. He's going to catch him. So if I'm Pascal now, if you box now for mediums, you might come out 5 or 6 seconds back of McGorgy. But I reckon you could hand that down on a softer tyre, as Gobbi is side by side with Duhamel, trying to get by. Were they that way around? Yeah, they were. No, you're right. Yeah, so Duhamel had got through using the DRS and the push to pass, I guess. Is Mitchell as well, with Christian Francesconi ahead of him.
Yeah, and we also saw there Musaidis and who was it? It was from the Francesconis. I think it was Christian Francesconi pitting to get off the soft tyres. So clearly they knew they weren't going to quite make it to the end. There is the move from Tuomela
What a
around the
move.
outside. And that's supreme confidence from the Gallery 82 driver. To go. That was a sort of George Russell style move there. And Bobby got completely caught napping there almost.
Yeah, using all of the track width on the entry as well, trying to maximise that turn in and really made it work. So great move from Noah.
You don't need fresh tyres to get through here, clearly.
No, exactly. Right, so this is the interesting now tactical battle, is how much Poom and Platt can hold up Magorgi here, because Magorgi, on those hard tyres, is trying to make inroads into Pascal's lead. Michael Francesconi's boxed, by the way, so he is going to presumably go mediums to the end. He's gone hard again, so. Oh, is he? Oh no! Wait, what? Is he on?
It's green tyres. I think he's put the mediums on. According to race view. There we go. He's exited the pits on them now, so he rejoins in 9th position. But like you say, Poom, Platt, Magorgi bunching up together. So this is crunch time then for TR Geeks Energy. Poom has got to hold on from Platt, and Platt is going to be vulnerable to Magorgi if they stay like this.
Platt's, yeah, well, yes, but he's using the DRS from Poom effectively to stay ahead. Magorgi's got two TR Geeks cars to get through. So, yeah, it's...
Poom, by the way, still lapping quicker than the leaders by about 3 tenths, but there's not a whole lot in it at the moment. Christian Pascal, if he can keep the tyres alive while all this battling is going on, it could start to play into his hands, but it is going to be quite the job to keep those hards alive then. 21 laps already. I can't see him getting to the end without having to come in again for mediums.
Well, no, but when do you do that, though? And is that rain? Did I just see rain on the screen?
I'm seeing it too.
Yeah, I think it's raining.
Is that what Christian Pascal's waiting for?
Maybe. Right, what's the weather saying, Szymon? Weatherman Szymon? I'm waiting for race view, he says. It's saying rain on race view for me. It might rain, apparently. Okay.
It's heavy rain or light rain at this moment. It's his Musidis trying to go round the outside then of Michael Francesconi into turn 1. Francesconi leaves him plenty of room. Stavros Musidis gets back into the top 11.
There's little spots appearing on the cars, you know. By the way, the driving standard's been a lot better this round. Thank you, everyone. There's not been too much to say. A couple of crashes. I was
wondering who would incur your wrath, Toby.
Alex Hallows crashing into the wall after crashing was quite good. It is raining. Okay, so we do have a bit of dampness to spice up the action with 20 laps.
Yeah, 26 laps.
Is that right? Can I do maths? No, it's 16, isn't it?
16, sorry, you're right. I got suckered in there.
Sorry, bro. 16 laps of the race left.
I think Platt's coming through.
Yeah, they had to swap that eventually. Platt did look like the faster driver. So Platt goes through. How old are their tyres? So Platt is 3 laps fresher tyres as well. This is going to leave Poom vulnerable to Magorgi. It is raining, but it's not raining heavily. It's little drizzly bits, like we had in qualifying. It's just how long the track holds on until you've got to pit for inters. This could play hugely into Pascal's hands. Sandeep Singh as well. So Magorgi's going to try and get, if they do need inters, try and get by as soon as possible. If you're Pascal, you're going to box. Do you risk boxing for dry tyres if it's going to rain? Or do you box for inters and risk it not raining anymore?
Depends how lucky he's feeling, I guess. But the rain, it doesn't show any sign of easing off anytime soon. So the track is going to get more and more treacherous, and especially for those on the hards, they're going to start losing temperature quite quickly. But the track temperature is still 46 degrees according to race view, so doesn't seem to be going down at the moment. Magorgi, though, bearing down now on the back of Hygo Poom. So Poom might be another one. And look at all the spots. It helps that Road to Formula got a black car, so you can see all the raindrops all on it. Magorgi now, the spray could start to pit, and Pascal does pit then, because Christian Pascal and Sandeep Singh both pit from first and second, so now this is a battle for the lead, Toby.
Right, but they've gone to dry mediums, so they think it's going to not get wet enough. I don't know if I'd have stayed out. Okay, Sandeep's gone on to softs, so he thinks he can get softs to the end of 15. That's quite an interesting call. But I don't know if I'd have tried to hang on to those tyres for a couple more laps, see if the rain clears up at all. Because now Pascal's 11 back of Platt. He's got a lot of ground to make up, and he could even have to pit again for Inters. But it might rain a bit longer, Szymon says in my ear. It's anyone's guess who's going to win this race, but right now you'd say McGorgy is definitely in prime position. He doesn't have to box again. The two guys in front of him definitely do.
Yeah, but while they're ahead of him, Heiko Pum can be used to hold up Owen McGorgy, delay his progress, and Dylan Platt can potentially escape a little bit down the road. And if one of the TR cars makes the brave call to go for potentially a set of intermediates, it could really blow things wide open. Nobody has made that call yet so far, though, since the rain started falling a few laps ago. And here is Christian Pascal already, once again, at the back of his old friend Mark Schleiter. And here comes McGorgy, Toby.
Yeah, he's round the outside, and Pum trying to get slipstream off his teammate there, Platt. Side by side through turn 2 they go, but McGorgy on that fresher rubber, able to take that position. Is Pascal making progress very quickly on those mediums. He passes Schluter for P4, and here's Sandeep Singh doing just the same thing to Tuomela, and he moves up to P7. So those fresh tyres really helping out. No one's gambled on Inters yet. I'm hoping someone will. Here we go. Here's McGorgy using that DRS. So he's not just using DRS, he's got the slipstream as well. Probably a little bit of push to pass in the mix, and shoots on by. Sent a little bit. They were very close to touching. Look through turn 1, but mad respect for these two. Well done for not making contact.
Pum did really, really well to leave just enough space, but no more than was absolutely necessary for Owen McGorgy there. So it's certainly not making it too easy for the Road to Formula driver and the championship leader. But now, 8 tenths the gap between McGorgy and Platt in the battle for the overall lead, with 14 laps to go then, and the rain continuing to bucket down here at Circuit de Catalunya.
Well, it certainly is raining. I don't know if it's bucketing. Oh, Owen's lost internet. Oh no! It's happened again. It happened again.
Lightning struck there, and Christian Pascal now sets fastest lap of the race, but in comes Heiko Pum with the mediums crying enough. The big crying is at the Road to Formula pit, because Owen McGorgy, as you say, disconnected from the race. That's the second time this season that's happened through no fault of his own.
That rain looks stronger. That rain looks stronger to me. I don't know if it's whether it's just because we were stationary in the pit lane or not, but it looked stronger. I don't know if it's the nature of onboards, maybe. I don't really know. You can't tell from where we are how much it's actually raining, but certainly from on board and the little specks of rain that we can see on our broadcast cameras, it definitely looks like it's a little stronger than it was. You guys can tell me just as much as I can see, really. But Singh here on those soft tyres, he's probably got the best tyre for the current conditions, and although Pascal has just set the fastest lap of the race at 1:17.1, so it's not yet wet enough for Inters, but it definitely looks like it's going to rain, and it's raining heavier. But poor McGorgy, once again, scuppered by his internet.
Yeah, it reminds me of the FSR Pro race I saw, where a driver leading that after about 13 laps or so, there was actually a lightning strike in his hometown, and that made his internet go down. So that's the most unluckiest thing that could have happened at that moment, as we see Ruboli fighting away with Khoroshavin. I hope I haven't butchered that last name. It's Dominique, isn't it? Yes.
Dominique Khoroshavin.
Khoroshavin, there we go, yes. But anyway, Christian Pascal surely now in the box seats to win this race, unless the rain has any other ideas of
No, 100%. 100%. The only thing that saves Platt here, because Platt's definitely got to stop again, is whether or not it rains heavy enough that they all require Inters.
Yeah, watch out for the rooster tails at the back of these cars. That's when you know when the spray starts being kicked up, that the track is probably going to get into the territory where the dry tyres are going to start becoming useless, essentially.
Exactly. That is exactly the crossover point. It's the visual kind of spray that you get. It means it's a little bit too wet. I mean, it's not exact, but it's a decent rule of thumb. So Sandeep Singh making super progress on those soft tyres, but he's still 16 seconds back of Platt and 8 seconds back of Pascal. So Pascal definitely in the driving seat now, as you say.
And the pressure is on Sandeep now, because Road to Formula need Sandeep to score lots of big points here to limit the damage that's going to be done to Road to Formula in the Teams Championship, with Owen McGorgy's very tragic disconnection there, and so late on in the race as well. That is racing sometimes. Some people just, you can drive as well as you can, but if the luck's not on your side, then you still won't win, sadly. But here we go, Sandeep Singh getting well into the slipstream, and the DRS wide open, Toby.
Yeah, and he's presumably gonna get by before they even get to turn one, and he does. So through goes Singh on Gobby, his Poom on that fresh set of tyres. He's hoping to make inroads as well, and so he makes up a position P7 from Christian Francesconi. The rain definitely from the onboards. Oh, look at the sideways action for Poom there. From the onboards, looks like it's belting down. So I honestly don't know if it's heavier or not, but it does feel like it from the onboards. I feel like this could be Inters if it continues.
Yeah, and with just 11 laps to go, this is really a crunch time. This is an absolutely horrible situation for these drivers. Do you stay out, try and hold on to that track position as the track gets wetter and wetter, the curbs get more and more lethal the more risks you take? Or do you gamble? Do you go for the Inters, hope that it keeps pouring down, and try and make up the ground while everyone slides off in front?
I reckon
Capolini looks like he might be doing just that.
No, he's gone mediums. I don't know about that. I would have gambled at that point, I think, if I've got 10 laps left.
Around the outside. That's a brave one.
Yeah, it is. And I think from the onboard we're watching a Poom, something I was going to say, although this looks like heavier rain, it looks trickier to drive. The lap times are still pretty decent. You know, they're only a couple of seconds off the full dry times. If it does stay raining at this level, then I don't know if we'll see Inters, but it does still look like it's raining. It's difficult to know.
It looks like it's literally just brightened up though, Toby. So the rain's still falling as old Tuamela goes wide and loses position to Christian Francesconi.
Yeah, I think and the weather's changing again. Who knows?
Turn the sun off.
I know. It does happen very fast in our factor. It's like instant clouds. So you can see the sunshine that you briefly mentioned. You can see the rain, and it's definitely more slippery than it was. Definitely.
So Tuamela just down the power just a little bit too early. They're squirreling across the track, and lucky not to dip it into the gravel there. Oh, there we go. Then we're going to see a replay of the instant weather change. So even the sun isn't hanging around in this race. As Riboli now pits as well from 13th position. But Sandeep Singh is the only one sort of still in the 118s, 118.5 last time. Everyone else in the 120s, 119s, 121s then, as we see Riboli leave the pit lane on a set of soft tyres there.
3 seconds slower was Platt that last time round than Singh. So, yeah.
And more importantly than Christian Pascal, he was over a second slower.
Yeah, so Singh could still catch actually the leader at this rate, but are those softs going to last? That's the big question, isn't it? Because they are faster, but of course they do have a lot less tyre life than the mediums that the two leaders are on.
Rain could help Singh here, couldn't it? If it gets down to the point where you need to keep the tyre temp up, then the softs could be the ones to be on, and the mediums and the hards could just start to lose grip.
I'm interested in see what Platt does from here, because I presume he needs to box relatively soon in the next lap or two.
Well, look how quickly he's been caught by Pascal now. Below 2 seconds is the game.
Yeah, I think his tyres are gone, to be honest. Platt's tyres look like they might be dead. But God, that's so difficult to say. It looks like it's going to rain continuously for the next few laps, but Szymon's just said to... Yeah, he comes back. So his tyre's definitely dead. So what does he do? Softs? Or gamble on Inters?
Yeah, that's his only options then, isn't it? So this is a crucial pit stop for him, for TR Geeks Energy. Dylan Platt will pull into the pit box to the right at any moment now. Here we go. He's pulling in. And what tyres are being prepared then by the pit crew? He slides into the box and it's Inters that go on.
Yeah, I think that's probably too early, but
Szymon
it's an
Frelik
interesting
just
gamble.
in the background there.
I know, yeah. I think it's too early because the lap times aren't that bad. They're only 3 or 4 seconds off. But
it was a risk he kind of had to take though, wasn't it? Because on the soft he was not going to win this race.
Correct.
On this Inters he might, just if everyone slides off in front of him, but it's a big if.
Well, let's keep an eye on his sector times. The sector times are not great in the first sector, you know, this lap. They really aren't. In fact, you can see Platt visibly gaining on the cars in front. This might be a masterstroke from Dylan Platt. He's got sideways straight away, but can you see the grip difference though? If it stays raining at this level, this might be a masterstroke. So we'll keep a very close eye on this. Very close eye.
He's got 7 cars in front of him though, but he has got time to catch them all, 8 laps, and it depends. He needs them all to. He needs the rain to really make the car's head drop off a cliff. Essentially, it's all guys are. There's only Singh on the softs, Schleuter and Gobby on the hards, and everyone else ahead of him is on the mediums.
So
And
Platt's middle
in the first few
sector.
sectors.
Yeah, so Platt's middle sector then, matching the leaders. So he's on.
30.8, yes.
Yeah, and look at it compared to Tourmella in front of him. He's caught him hand over fist this lap. He's going to be 2 seconds a lap faster than Tourmella. So now you've got to gamble, haven't you? If you're in the lead and you can go to the end, do you stay on those tyres? Do you pit? Do you think you try and get to the end? Because Platt is gambled here. He's got a lot of time to make up. He's not setting, fastest sectors out of everyone, but he's matching the times. So
The problem is if Pascal or Schleuter pits, they're almost certainly going to come out behind Dylan Platt then. So their only option is to sort of stay out. Some of the others might gamble though. I think a lot of people are going to start reacting to that and sort of try and gain positions in the lower end of the top 10 as the Team Ballas Esports car of Dominic Krushavin. Oh, just dropping it in the middle of a Verf chicane and getting stuck in the wall there.
him and Hoyt have both been in the wars. It looks like that car looks horrible. It looks horrible to drive.
13th though, so doing
yeah, well,
actually,
stay out.
considering how many have dropped out.
Look, Hoyt is in 17th, and I said it earlier. It doesn't matter how many laps you're down. If enough people retire, you might still pick up a point. So good on them for still being there. Oh, it looks lively in the background there. One of the dry racing cars. Yeah, Luke Mitchell. Platt's not exactly pulled away from Tourmella, but he's definitely faster at this stage. This is anyone's guess, but the lap times have dropped off big time. Pascal's 22.9 in the lead of the race, and Platt was 5/10 faster than anyone in Sector 1. Matched them in Sector 2. What's his Sector 3 like? He crosses the line. So Platt is matching still. The guys.
122.3.
Yeah, sorry.
Coming in as well.
Yes, Tourmella thinks it's too wet. I think that's probably true, but are you going to lose too much time with 6 laps left of this race after this?
But look, he had 19 seconds to Luke Mitchell. I actually think this was a wise gamble from 2ML. He had a lot less to lose, even than Dylan Platt. So coming back out on the Inters, he should come out ahead of, just behind Luke Mitchell actually. So it didn't quite work out, but if he can clear Mitchell quickly, he's got plenty of fresh air to play with then.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that one actually to see how quickly Mitchell is caught by Tourmella, because it's 4 seconds currently. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. So Mitchell there coming through T3. Behind him in the background, you can see Tourmella on those intermediate tyres.
Oh, something's going on up front. Here we go. Gobby being overtaken by Hygo Poom.
Yeah, this is chaos now. That people will be making mistakes in these slippery conditions
on
too.
The hard, so the hards are starting to really struggle then in these conditions.
Yeah, and look, Schleuter in P2, I think, has probably gained a little bit. In fact, he definitely has gained a bit on Pascal. But then, the lap times are 125s now. Platt in the 22s.
Oh, good save by the Team Ballas Esports driver. Then the Ballas Esports drivers are going full out and a little bit beyond what the tyres are capable of. What
happened here? Yeah, it's just slippery now. Keep it out of the wall. He got away with it, Riboli there. So
his teammate Musadis is coming into the pits. I think he wants some inters now as well. So everyone's got to commit to their strategies at this point.
Oh, the sector times are dead from anyone on 6. The sector times are dying. Platt might have pulled a master stroke, but I don't know how his tyres have lasted.
Pascal.
Yeah, it's doable though. It's doable if the tyres really are dropping off. You can see Platt, the progress he's made. He's now only 17, 16. It's apparently going to rain to the end. So, but if it continues at this level, the slicks can just hold on. They're slower, but Platt's got a lot of time to make up. This is a spicy old race towards the end of this one.
This is going to be an absolutely nail-biting finish. How many places can Dylan Platt gain? I think Christian Pascal might just be able to hold up, and look at Singh almost dropping it off track there on the soft tyres. So even the softs now are sort of absolutely useless, about as much use as a chocolate teapot on a hot day like this, but it's a rainy, wet day at Barcelona, and Singh just about survives for another lap then. Can he hold onto that podium?
You can't do that.
Very good analogies I can draw upon him.
That's cracking, I love it. So Singh looked like he was driving in a different class. Yeah, it's too wet now for slicks, but they've got to stick it out. There's only 4 laps left, or 5 including this one. Their lap times are gone.
Where on the dry tyres you're just going to slide off the road. Then is it better to score some points rather than none at all? Is the question here. And as a team, Killian just going right into the wall, and the front wing I think is collateral damage there.
The lap times are going, but I don't know if Platt went slightly too early, and maybe his inters just aren't as fresh as they need to be in these conditions now, you know, because they do wear very quickly in very dry conditions, you know. But he's his second a lap. He's 3 seconds a lap faster than Singh in P3.
So everyone
is that
down
enough,
from
though?
5th to 11th is on the inters, and Joseph Herlock as well. Oh no, Christian Francesconi's actually gone for the full wet, so that is a brave call, actually.
That's not the right call. That's definitely not the right call.
Hence brave rather than inspired.
You're very diplomatic, my friend. That's a terrible call. Dylan Platt on inters, though, is the one to watch. He's now only 13 seconds back of the leader. Flying along nicely, but has he got the tyre life?
He's cleared Gobby, actually, who's just...
Well, Gobby's boxed, yeah. So, but Platt's the one to watch, and he is flying. He's...
Schleiter in.
Really? No, I just think...
Mark
Okay.
Schleiter panicked here, and he's going to go for the inters as well then. But I'm not sure if that was the right call with 3 laps to go. Yeah,
no,
the green
it's
tyres
not.
on the green car. But Schleiter maybe should have stuck it out there, but maybe he was worried about just dropping it off the road. So now only the top 3 still on the dry tyres, so a couple at the back risking it as well.
They've got no choice. They're 3 seconds a lap slower than Platt, but there's 4
is surely going
laps
to let
left.
Platt through now, isn't he?
Yeah, that'll be not even an issue. But the issue is, well, Platt's definitely going to get Singh, I would say. It's whether he can
come out
catch
in
Pascal.
5th ahead of his teammate as well, so it wasn't that costly a call there. Maybe he might just be able to save his bacon there, but a top 2 is gone begging now.
So Platt, 10 seconds now off the lead. It's coming down so quick. He's a
gained
second.
7 seconds in the last few laps on the leader. Pascal has got those 2 cars between him, including Hygo Poom, of course.
Well, Poom will just jump out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing to gain here for the team if he holds his teammate up.
Do you know what? In the downforce sections, it's not too bad for the slick runners. As soon as we get into a section like this, you can see how much ground Platt just can drive up to the back of Poom, who's just struggling to get the traction down. It's not night and day, though, is it? You know, Platt is not literally driving around these guys, although he does have significantly better grip in that
He's
last corner.
only got 2 laps left. I think Pascal's going to hold on to this one unless Dylan Platt is just breezes by. 131 last time out, Platt in the 126s, and Poom moves aside.
No, he's gonna be right there, you know. He's gonna be right there. If it continues at this wetness, he's gonna get him on the last lap.
Right in front of him.
Yeah, so there's 3 laps. Don't forget there's 3 laps. So lap 52, 53, and 54, and he's gonna get him on the last lap.
We go, and Singh is to be absolutely defenseless into turn 4. Platt on the inside, through to 2nd place.
What an inspired call by Dylan Platt. Absolutely inspired, because
Correct
he's
use
now
of that word.
yeah, that time inspiration, because he's flown back up to P2. He was of course leading, but he needs a pit anyway compared to Pascal. He's nearly made that pit stop back just by going on to inters. Shows you what Pascal could have done, but he left it way too late to actually react. And now,
if he responded, he would have come out behind no matter what. So Pascal really would have had to let that one as Riboli, who's one of the few that I think has stayed out on the dry tyres, is he?
No, he's on inters.
No, he is on inters. They're letting his teammate through on the fresher inters. Oh no, they had different laps. In fact, that's Mercedes lapping him, I think.
Singh's not doing very well in these conditions. Poom, I don't know if it's because the softs have gone, but Poom is kind of right there with him. So Poom looking to take that
16-second gap to Schleiter though, so Hygo might just be okay to hold on to the top 4.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I reckon Singh could be under pressure for the last couple of laps. So here we go. So 2 laps left. The gap is 4.5 seconds. It's 4 seconds a lap that Singh is faster right now. So literally Dylan. So 3.997 faster on that last lap. You saw it there on the screen. That was good. That wasn't it? Almost exactly 4 seconds. So Platt, of course, catching very, very quickly to Pascal. It'll be on the last lap, but here's Poom and Sandeep Singh obviously struggling in these conditions.
those softs are gone as well at this point, because he's done how many laps on them? 14, I think, nearly as many as he did in the opening stint, where he did 16 laps. So they're not at their best life anyway, regardless of the conditions, and it's going to stay like this as we predicted, with just one final lap to go then between Pascal and Platt and Poom all over the back of the road to form. It's so crucial for Sandeep Singh to hold on to this podium if he can, and look at the rear tyres complaining on that TR Geeks Energy car.
Here's Capolini. He obviously still out there on the slick tyres too. He is in 13th place, Lorenzo, but he's managed to keep it on the road for the time being and trying to get a couple of points for his team. But the gap now is down to 3 seconds, but it's not that much quicker this time round for Platt, you know. I wonder if it's dried up ever so slightly. 30.2, 130.2 for Pascal. He crosses the line. Here comes Platt. A 27.0. The gap's 2 seconds, and he was 3 seconds faster. He's going to catch him on the last lap. We are on the last lap, Ed. It's who's going to win, Platt or Pascal?
Know about that, but here comes Hygo Poom trying to get onto the podium here. Sandeep Singh is going to turn through round the outside and just holds on into turn 1, but he's going to be harem scarum all the way to the end. I think Christian Pascal might just have enough grip to hold on here, but like you said, it's going to be nip and tuck, tooth and nail here with just half a lap left to go.
Yeah, Platt's down to less than a second. Let's jump to that one, because Platt is almost right there with Christian Pascal for the lead of the race. You can see him visibly eating into that lead. There's only a few corners left. Platt's just got
a whole second faster in the first sector there, so I think Christian Pascal was really struggling. In the middle sector, looks like a bit more stable here. But look at Christian Pascal struggling not to spin out here. Only a few corners to go, Toby.
Literally, and Platt is right there, and this is the section where the downforce isn't going to help the slick runner. He's defenseless. Is he going to be able to hang on here, Pascal? Platt's going to have to go around the outside.
Here we go.
Pascal defends, he blocks him off. Platt's trying to undercut, there's contact, there's more contact. 2 corners left. Oh, Platt, no, they contacted, they've gone wide.
Oh, no. And Platt is going to keep going, but it's going to be Christian. No, it is going to be Dylan Platt that crosses the line first to win.
So Platt does take it, but that was very controversial. Let's see what happens with Singh and Poom. Poom has got by Singh. Schluter's P3.
Where did that come from? He closed 16 seconds on the pair of them, did Mark Schluter. So that was inspired, even though it was maybe a bit of a late call to pit there. But here we go. Here are the runners fighting for 6th position. Noah Tuamala being closed in then by Stavros Mercedes, but Mercedes is just going to fall short with Francesconi right behind them.
Wow, I'd love to see Schluter's final lap again. That must have been mega to get by those two, but obviously we need to see the battle for the lead. What happened here? So you talk us through it, Ed, because I was shouting.
Dylan Platt ran the outside. He switches back to the inside into turn 12. A bit of contact made with Christian Pascal, and now at this point Platt has the inside, slides in, but because he tags the wheel there, they both go into the gravel and come out in the same positions they were. So did Dylan Platt push Christian Pascal off track there, or was such limited grip there? Was that the only chance for Dylan Platt to get through?
I'm more interested to see if Platt was actually 4 wheels off the track as he made his way through. So this is what...
see a double move here from Schluter, almost certainly then. So coming out through Campster, turn 9, tries to get the outside line through turn 10 on Hygo Poom. There, boom, Poom dispensed of. And now he's got to get Sandeep Singh, but Singh starts to hold him up, squirreling on exit. They go 3 wide then, wow! But it's Schluter who has the inside as Sandeep Singh drifts it, and Hygo Poom slots up the inside. So that's 2 TR Motorsport Geeks Energy cars going up the inside of the same corner on the final lap there.
I just want to...
Schluter, wow.
Yeah, that last lap was mega, and you can see Singh didn't really know. He has to stay on kind of on the dry line if he can. That's where Poom was able to get him back again, you know, because he was on the dry line. That's completely fair enough. That contact, there's nothing wrong with that. Singh was sideways, not much in that really. But the big one for me, if you can bring it back, Szymon, is whether on the inside of that final corner, whether Platt was 4 wheels off the track or not as he overtook. I feel like he was very close to doing that, even though he had an overlap on the inside. And I feel like Pascal was edging him to the inside. If he was 4 wheels off, this could be a steward's inquiry.
Yeah, good point. I think he might just be okay on that front. So here we go, drifting. As he does, he get all 4 wheels off track. There's the white line there.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. So if I'm stewarding that, But then does Pascal put him there with an overlap? That's the other question. One last. What can we have? One last look, Szymon?
The drivers do want to be interviewed at some point.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that. And there's no one waiting for them. We all want to know what happened here. So does Pascal leave him enough room? I would say no. After looking at that camera angle,
Can you blame him fighting for the win with just another corner to go?
I don't know how to call that. How do you call that, Ed? I don't know how to call that.
Racing incident.
Nice and diplomatic. Very nice. Very good.
I think, like you say, regardless of the outcome, that was a brilliant call from Dylan Platt, and whether it's top 2 or top 1, I think he's going to be very, very happy with that drive.
Yeah, I would be too. He made the right call on that final pit stop. Definitely made the right call. So let's see how they finished then. So it was on the road. It was Dylan Platt from Christian Pascal after an epic battle. Normally we have a graphic at this point. Here we go. Dylan Platt from Pascal. Mark Schluter with that epic final lap. Couldn't catch that live watching the leaders, but P3 for him. Haigo Pum took P4 from Singh, who dropped 2 positions in the last few corners. Gobby did pit for Inters and did make it back up to P6. Tormella in P7. 8th was Musaidis, who stayed out on the slicks and nearly made that work for him, but didn't in the end. Michael Francesconi beating Christian, his somehow family related, presumably brother, to 10th place. Luke Mitchell for Dreig in 11th, Joseph Herlock 12th, Renzo Capolini, Dominic Horshevin, who stayed out there as despite loads of damage and incidents, picking up 2 points for Team Balash, the final point for Raboli in 15th place. Tom Fantafort for Dreig and Kilian Huit in 17th place. The last 2 of our runners, Owen McGorgy, of course, disconnecting once again in 18th, Hallows 19th, 20th I think was Patterson with Sylvia Offair, Zongoli, Magnussen, Galka, Dezeu, our final retirements from the race. Thank you for joining me, Ed. I really appreciate it. We've got some people waiting for interviews. I'd like to speak to Dylan Platt. And
I can drag him in for you if you want.
Yeah, do it. I'm looking forward to this one because I'd like to see how Dylan read those last few corners. So, Dylan, on the road, a victory. It was a very tight battle those last couple of corners. Yeah. How do you feel about them?
For me, it was very tight going into the corner. You know, given the conditions, is never gonna be easy. I feel like he could have left more space, but it's for a race win, so I would have probably done the same in his position. So.
I think probably Ed wants to speak to you. I was going to say, I think probably Ed wants to say something to you.
There we go. Interrupt to say that I want to speak to you.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Sorry, I shouldn't be throwing shade at you, Toby. You've done a brilliant job today. Anyway, so Dylan, when you pit near the end, and it was a bit of a marginal call, wasn't it? Because you were the first to gamble on the Inters. And I said in commentary at the time that if you went for softs, then basically you weren't going to win the race. Best you could hope for was maybe top 4, top 3. But going for the Inters gave you that chance. And fair play to you. You absolutely took it. And it was such a big margin. Did you ever think that maybe you weren't going to catch in time, or that it wasn't going to work out and the rain would go away? Or did you think, right, this is going to go my way now?
Yeah. I was getting constant calls saying, "Oh, the rain intensity has increased," from David Carter, who effectively changed my mind and made me go for Inters. You know, he did fantastic. But at
Another
one point,
call from David.
Yeah, it was just, you know, when I heard the rain decrease, I was like, "Oh no," and thought, "No way am I going to catch here."
I think this will be, if it gets reported, it'll be one of those where it could be 50-50, to be honest, Dylan.
Yes.
Basically, it was fighting hard for the win in those last couple of corners. I feel like Christian probably didn't give you quite enough room, but equally, at one point you were 4 wheels on the inside of the track. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I had to do that to try and avoid more contact. So.
I think either way, you drove an excellent final stint on those Inters, and it was obvious that you were going to catch, and it was fantastic drama to see you catch on that last lap.
Yeah, and of course it was very unlucky for Haigo. You know, a couple laps longer for him, and he would have probably been higher than me. He was faster than me all race. He probably deserved it more, but you know, it's how great it goes.
Well, that's very gracious of you to say, Dylan. But congratulations for winning on the road. Fingers crossed you get to keep it, because either way, whatever the outcome, that was a fabulous drive, and I think you can hold your head high for taking advantage when the opportunity presented itself, because that was one of the craziest finishes I think I've ever had the pleasure of jumping into the last minute to commentate on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Dale. I think I'd like to speak, if at all possible, to Mr. Mark Schluter, if we can. I'll see if he's around to talk. Yeah, he's Mr. Mark Schluter. How are you?
Good.
Yes, an inspired call to go to the intermediates so late in the race, it turns out. We were saying in the commentary it might be a little too late, but you made your way up onto the podium, and that was a fantastic last lap.
Yeah, I think it was a bit too late. Maybe 2-3 laps earlier, and maybe have gotten P2. But yeah, you know more after the race.
It's very true, but I think you were one of the fastest people on track near the end, and I believe that is a career best result here in Superlights for you, Mark, especially considering I believe you're the full-time driver at TX3 in Superlights. I think you're filling in for someone. So that is a very, very good performance by you, and you really took advantage of all that chaos at the. I think you were something like 17 seconds down on the leaders at one point. You ended the race 7 seconds behind, and having made 2 overtakes on the final lap. That was such a scary moment, though, but you handled it incredibly well.
Yeah, I think the guys in front was just very struggling. I think I was getting like 5 to 6 seconds per lap in the end. Just was cautious against him and just made the move. Very, very happy kind of redemption after the unfortunate events of last race with the back marker, but yeah, very happy.
Yeah, the driving standards has been up and down this season. It was a lot better this race, actually. It was nice to see you have a competitive result. Obviously, you're stepping in for Ragusa. You guys have kind of swapped around drives all season. Where is Giuseppe today? Are you going to be back in the car for the next round?
I don't know. I think I'm only allowed to 4 emergencies, and that was my 4th, so maybe I don't.
Either way, Mark, we're definitely going to see you in action in FSR, where you also drive for TX3. So best of luck there if we don't see you at Superlights again in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You pick. Who would you like to speak to? We've got quite a few people. We'll do one more.
How about we do Owen McGorgy, who was so cruelly disconnected? Let's hear what he has to say about the race.
Yep, no, let's do that. I like that idea. Mr. McGorgy, once again, I presume internet-related issues. What was that the case?
Yeah, I guess that was fun.
You did get to enjoy the crazy finish. Maybe enjoy is the wrong word. But I guess it's fun to watch everyone else struggle on the dry tires. What do you reckon you would have stayed out on the softs, or would you gamble on the inters?
I don't know.
Yes, it's academic now, isn't it?
I really do not know. I probably would have stayed out because, yeah, I don't know. If I was in it, you would have seen, but obviously, something's against me.
How did you feel the race was going up to that point? Because it felt like you were managing things in hand. The strategy was going your way, and it really felt like Christian Pascal didn't really have a hold a candle to you. And Hygo Poom, his strategy wasn't quite working out either, because you were able to get ahead of both him and Dylan Platt. So it felt like on your side there wasn't a foot wrong today, and it was another great Owen McGorgy drive in terms of, despite the start not going quite your way, that you were able to recover really well.
My tyre wear was pretty damn bad compared to what I wanted it to be and what it was when
46
I did
degrees
have
out
a race sim. Yeah, but I don't know how
I think anyone had good tyre wear today.
But I was hoping to box on like 15 and do soft, medium, but then I realised on about lap 3 that was not going to happen. I boxed onto the mediums. Pace was all right. Boxed onto the hards. I hadn't done any practice on the hards before, and found that they were quite a good race tyre. The tyre there wasn't actually too bad, and I had really good pace compared to what I expected. And then to be on the back of the two TRs when they were doing an extra stop was quite funny. And I can't remember what my gap to Pascal was, but I think I would assume if I had no mistakes and I stayed out, I would have won that race because of how close it was between those two.
I have one last question, Owen. I mean, how long have you been practicing for this round for? Obviously, we had the 4-week gap. Have you done loads and loads of laps? Is that why it's so disappointing, or is it a case of just what might have been?
I mean, I was on holiday for a week. Came back. What? I can't remember. A week and a half ago.
Sounds like quite a holiday.
Yeah. And then I didn't do as many laps as I think I've done for any of the other races, to be honest. I let Sandeep do all the work and he made the setup, and then he ended up using a different setup for the race, and I used the one that he sent me. So yeah, I obviously I'm disappointed, but at least I didn't put in 1,000 laps like I don't know, someone may have done.
Nice. Okay, thanks, Owen. Obviously, really bad luck, but you do still obviously lead the championship by a significant margin. So, plenty to look forward to in the second half of the season.
Cheers.
Best of luck for Canada. Is Canada next round?
Yes, Canada's the next round.
Yeah, I thought so. There you go. Got it.
Thanks.
Cheers, Owen. That's all we've got time for. I need to go and have a cold shower, I think, probably.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks for joining me, Ed.
We'll have to wait, but
yeah,
anyway, it was great to commentate on that crazy finish with the rain. The rain does have a habit of spicing things up, but it could have gone either way today. And in the end, it was Dylan Platt that did make the right call, and Christian Pascal that just lost out at the end in the most dramatic of circumstances possible. But I guess we'll see Superlights back in action in a few weeks' time in Canada, and I'm sure Owen McGorgy is going to relish another chance to get back on top after an unlucky disconnection today.
Thank you all for your comments in the YouTube chat. I always like to read back through them after the race. Yeah, thanks for joining me, Ed. Really appreciate it, and thank you guys for keeping it relatively clean today. It was a nice race to watch in the end, and yeah, appreciate it. So thank you guys. Remember, you can join us for Super League on Thursday. Same track, different series. Obviously, Super League is our premier series. That's on Thursday, and then 2 weeks' time we will be here on a Tuesday afternoon for Superlights again at Canada, as we said. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to Szymon on cameras and being the weatherman today. I've been Toby Davis. Ed Hunter joined me, and so did Jan Gregfist. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye.